Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. I am Mr. Kadim Khan and I am a lecturer in the Institute of Computing, Kuwait University of Science and Technology. Today we will take lecture number 11 of the subject of software engineering, in which we will discuss the introduction about the software project management. This is the discussion agenda. It contains the topic of what is software project management, why software project management is different than other project management activities. Dear students, there are many activities in the project management, but in this lecture we are going to conduct only first two activities. The rest of the activities we will perform it in the next lectures. So here we are doing the proposal writing and project planning in very much detail. Software project management. Software project management is the managerial task in which a project manager has to make sure that the project must be delivered within the cost and on the schedule and in accordance with the requirements of the organization development and procuring the software. Basically, software project management has to make sure that the software must be developed within the cost. Within the cost here means within the budget, and on schedules here means on time, and also it should be according to the requirements of the customers so that the high quality product should be developed. The project management is needed because software development is always subject to budget schedule constraints, and that are the set by the organization development the software. Basically, when the budget and schedule constraints are important, then we perform the project management. And manager here is to perform such sort of the plannings which should ensure that the project must be completed within the budget and within the time framework. Software project management is essential part of the software engineering. It is very much important because good management cannot guarantee that project success, because the projects are very much vulnerable and they can be failed. So that's why good project manager must have to complete the project within the particular frameworks. However, bad management usually results in project failure. So, inexperienced project manager and that manager which is not very much skillful may result in the failure of the project. The software is delivered late, costs are more than the originally estimated, and fails to meet its requirements. Then we can say the project has been failed. And overall, the project manager is responsible for all these factors. Now, why software project management is different than other types of project management? For example, we have the civil engineering, we have the mechanical engineering. So also, for example, we in the civil engineering, road construction is different than the software development. Similarly, bridge construction is different than the software development. So that's why software project management is very much different than the other management. And that is the reason it is very much tough as well, very much difficult as well. So number one, the software product is intangible. Intangible means it is not feasible, not physical. Software project is not physical entity. The manager of the shipbuilding project of a civil engineering project can see the product being developed. Basically, a manager always see its products that is to be developed, because the ship is something which is physical, but the product of the software is often not physical, it is logical entity. Now, if the schedule slips, effect on the product is visible, part of the structure are obviously unfinished. So if, for example, schedule is slipping, that means schedule is becoming longer and longer. So then automatically the other activities are affecting, and also it will increase the budget of the product. Software is intangible. It cannot be seen or touched. Software project manager cannot see the progress. As software is intangible, as like the other, unlike the other management, so that's why we cannot see the complete progress of the project. For example, in the road construction, if you have developed 1 kilometer road within 1 billion rupees, so you can in fact says that automatically we can develop the another few kilometers within the particular cost. So that's mean you can easily guess a complete cost, and also you can guess the complete schedule about the full road development. So, but unlike the softwares, we cannot say that particular functionalities can be completed within the particular time. So they rely on the others to produce the documentation needed to review the progress. So basically, software products completely depends on the documentation, and due documentation must be reviewed to, in fact, review the progress of the product. Second difference between the software project management and the other management fields is that there are no standard software processes available in the software development for the software project management. So in engineering discipline, we have long history of the processes tried and tested. We have, for example, engineering is very much classical fields, and they have many hundred of years of history. But software is in fact very much new technology. So that's why we have no good experience and processes available as compared to the other project management. So the engineering process for some types of systems such as the bridges and building is very well understood, because we are developing bridges and buildings from a very ancient times. But software is in fact very recently development, so that's why that is very much vulnerable and also very much difficult task. However, software processes are very dramatically from one organization to another. So very means changes. The software processes are depends on the organization as well. For example, one organization follow the ISO standard, the another will follow the CMMI standards. So also one will follow the prototyping model, the another will follow the spiral model. So that depends on the organization as well. So that's why it is very much difficult to do the project management for the software. Although our understanding of the project of those processes had developed significantly in the past few years, we still cannot reliably predict when a particular software process is likely to cause development problems. So we cannot, in fact, resolve this problem, because day by day different and new problems arises in the products. So that's why this is very much difficult activity. Number third reasons why the software project management is different than the other project management is this one, that the large projects, software projects are often one-off products. One-off projects means here different projects. So in the software industry, we are always handling different problems and different projects within the different technologies. So that's why it is very much difficult to understand the management and to do the management of the projects. So large software projects are usually different in some ways from the previous projects. For example, we have Android projects, we have database projects, we have the network projects, we have the game projects. Similarly, we have the artificial intelligence projects, we have hardware projects like the robotics projects. So that's why there are many sort of the projects, many vendors, many users. So that's why managers have a lot of difficulty to deal with every types of projects. So therefore, even a manager who have a large body of the previous experience may find it difficult to anticipate the problems. Furthermore, rapid technological changes in the computer and the communication can make a manager's experience obsolete. So we have a lot of rapid developments, rapid application technologies, rapid changes in the technologies. So that's why uh, scaling on every sort of the technology is not possible. That's why managers problem is very much difficult here. So lesson learned from the previous projects may not be transferable to the new projects. So when we listen, we have a certain lesson from the previous projects, or we have an experience from the previous project that cannot be used in the current or new projects. Now, there are many activities in the software project management. These are very much important activities, and these activities must be, in fact, carefully uh, performed. First one is the proposal writing. Here, in this activity, the project manager has to write a complete and concise proposal for the development of the project. Then we have the project planning. The project manager has to make sure plan, and then we have the scheduling. The project manager must have to complete the schedule of the projects. Here he has to draw different sort of the schedules before the development of the project. Then the project costing, project manager must have to make sure that the project must be completed within the cost. So here he or she has to guess the cost or the budget of the project. Then we have the project monitoring. Project monitoring means we have to monitor the projects so that if the problem arises, we have to resolve the problem. Then we have the project review. Project review means here we will provide different sort of the reviews to all of the previous activities. Personal selection means the project manager has to select different staff to complete the projects. Personal evaluation means the project manager must have to evaluate the uh, tasks or the progress of the personnel or the staff members. Then we have the report writing. The project manager has to responsible is responsible for writing and documenting different sort of the reports here. Then at the end we have report presentation. The project manager must be able to present the reports in a certain communication skills. Now we will do each activity in very much details. First one is the proposal writing. This is the first stage in the software project in which the project manager has to write the complete proposal to win a contract to carry out the project. So here the project manager has to uh, write a complete proposal. In the proposal, the project manager has to make sure how the project will be completed and what should be the deadline of the project and the cost of the project. The proposal describes the objectives of the projects and it will be and how it will be carried out. Carried out means how it will be completed. So it usually includes cost, schedules, estimates, and justifies why the project's contract should be awarded to the particular organization or the team. Dear student, usually you have seen the different sort of the proposal in the newspapers in which this says that proposal are invited from the contractors for the completion of the following task. For example, road construction task. Then the particular organization provides a report which includes the cost, that how much funds will be required to complete the project, and the schedule, the time required to complete the project. This will be the estimated cost and the schedule and justifies why the project should be awarded to this particular development organization. Proposal writing is a critical task as the existence of the many software organizations depends on having any proposal accepted and contracts awards. It is very much critical and very much difficult task. So good project manager who has a good skills of writing the proposal, usually they win the project, the contract, and the contract is awarded to that particular organization. There can be no set guidelines for this task. Proposal writing is a skill you acquire through the practice and experience. So, a good experience and good project management you usually required a good proposal. Okay, project planning. Project planning is another activity which is concerned with identifying different sort of the activities, milestones, and deliverables produced by the project. Here we have different sort of the activities. So all the projects is divided into multiple activities and the multiple milestones and the deliverables. Milestone is the major activity which is completed during the project, while the deliverable is the final product or the final component which is delivered to the customers. A plan is drawn up to guide the development towards the project goals. Basically, a good planning is a planning which is done in fact to complete the goals of the project. Cost estimation is relevant activities that is concerned with the estimating the resources required to accomplish the project plan. For example, cost estimation is one of the project planning activity in which the project manager has to make sure that the project should be completed within the cost. Next one, the project planning, probably the most time consuming activity. Continuous activity in which we have to uh, make different sort of the plans. If the plan is not working, we have to throw the previous plans and we have to make the new plans. So that's why it is the continuous and iterative activities. So plan must be regularly revised as new information becomes available. So we have to revise all the plans when the new information comes with us. Various different types of plan may be developed to support the main software project's plan that is concerned with the schedule and the budget. So different sort of the plans we are creating, and the plan must be have the two factors, that is the schedules and the budget of the project. There are many plans. Here we are giving example of different plans. First plan is called the quality plans. Quality plan, as its name indicate, it concerned with the quality of the project. So it describes the quality procedure and standard that will be used in the project. Quality procedure means quality methodologies, and standards means, for example, ISO, IEEE standards. Similarly, CMMI standards is very much commonly used. So in the quality plan, we will define different sort of plans for the quality. Then we have the validation plan. This is the testing plans. Here we will describe different approaches and resources and schedule used for the system validation. System validation means system testing. Next we have configuration management plan. Here we will describe the configuration management and the procedures to structure the system. Configuration management here means how different components of the software should be configured so that they communicate with each other. So here we will define different sort of the plans about the configuring the software. Maintenance plan. Maintenance plan is concerned with the maintaining the software. In the maintenance plans, we will predict the maintenance requirements of the system, maintenance cost and effort required. So in the maintenance phase, the plan, we in fact make sure that the software will be maintained according to the user's problems that are identified during the using of the systems. So the maintenance is also one sort of the development which also required the cost and effort required to do the maintenance. Then we have the staff development plan. Staff development plan is relevant to the staff. For example, it contains the trainings and the workshops and the seminars that should be arranged by the project management manager to increase the skill and experience of the project team members who will develop the project. Now this is the algorithm for the project planning. Basically, we are here with establishing the project constraints. First of all, we will establish all sort of the conditions of the projects, that the project should be completed within this time framework. The project should perform these activities. The project should be completed within this budget. So these are called constraints. Constraints may also include the quality constraints, for example, ISO, IEEE or CMMI constraints over the project. Then we have to make sure that initial assessment of the project parameters should be identified. Here we will identify the initial parameters of the projects. The initial assessment of the project parameters means that all sort of the functions we should identify here. Then we have multiple constraints over this function. These should be identified here. Then define the project milestones and deliverables. Here we will break down all the activities of the projects into the milestones. Milestones are some major activities completed, and deliverables is the final products to be delivered to the product to the user. Then we have the while loop. While loop is a loop. Loop means it is the iterative activities, and this loop is from this to the end of the loop. The loop says that these activities must be completed in a iterative format. Iterative format means this should be in the certain sort of the in different sort of the iterations. Continuous activities should be performed for these steps. So first of all, draw a project schedule. Here we will make the project schedule, then initiate activities according to the schedule. All the activities and milestones we have defined here, they should be initiated according to that particular schedule. Then we have the wait for a while. Wait for a while is, for example, that is the particular past time that will be used for the review and revision. So here is the review project progress. We will review the project progress, all the activities that we have initiated here. We will review each and every activities here. Then we will revise estimate of the project parameters. So all the parameters, that is the requirements about of the projects, are reviewed here and they are revised. If there is certain problems in the review, then we will revise all the parameters, then update the project schedule. The schedule of the project should be updated here. Renegotiate project constraints and deliverables. All the constraints and the deliverables should be renegotiated here. We will negotiate it with different team members about the constraints and deliverables. For example, if the schedule is slipping, then we will renegotiate the constraints and deliverable with all the stakeholders. If the problem arise means if still the problem is there, then initiate technical reviews and possible revision. Here we will initiate the technical review. Means that if there is certain technical problem, we will initiate and also we will do the revision here. This is the end of if means that if there is the problem, this sub activity will be performed. If the problem is not there, then it will be the end of if and end of loop. If we have to conduct this loop again, we will go up and all these activity will be conducted again. If the project is completed, then this loop will also be executed. Now the project plan. The project plan sets out the resources available to the projects and the work breakdown schedule. Work breakdown work breakdown means all the activities in the project and the schedule for the all the works. That means the time required to complete the task. Now, what should be the good structure of the project plan? Means that what should include in the planning? First of all, we will do the introduction. The introduction of the projects. Then we have the project organization. Project organization means that how the project organized here. Then we have the risk analysis, which is very much important. Here we will identify different sort of the risk, and then we analyze these risks for their seriousness, hardware and software resources required to complete the projects. Then we have the work breakdown. Work breakdown means all the activities, the time required to complete their activities. Then we have the project scheduling. Project scheduling, here we will develop the different sort of the PERT charts and the Gantt charts and the activity network diagrams. Then we have the monitoring and reporting mechanisms. Then if the problem arises, we must have a good monitoring and reporting mechanisms with different stakeholders. Now, activities in the project should be organized to produce tangible output for the management to judge the progress. All the activities should be organized in such a format that will give us good tangible output. Milestones are the end point of the process activities. When we define the different milestones, we also define the different activities here. These are called the milestone. While deliverables is the project result delivered to the customer, and usually the deliverable is the final product. The waterfall process allows for the straightforward definition of the process milestones. Now, the waterfall model, as we already seen in the previous lectures, that there are 5 activities in the waterfall process model, and each activities are called the milestones. So gives us a good depiction about the progress of the milestones. So waterfall model can be used for splitting the activities. Now milestone in the requirement process. This is the example of the milestones. and this is the requirement engineering process models. These are the activities. The activities are in fact defined in the round edge rectangles, and these are the milestones, and the milestones are usually depicted in the solid rectangles. So this is the feasibility study. Feasibility study means here we will study the feasibility of the project. So we will get the feasibility report as a output. This is the activities are the process, and this indicates the output. Then after feasibility, we will do the requirement analysis. Here, all the customers' requirements will be analyzed. So we will get the user requirements, and then we have the prototype development. Here we will give us the prototype, the most urgent requirements in the form of the prototypes, that will be the products and initial products, and we will provide the evaluation reports about that particular prototype from the customers. Evaluation means customer satisfaction. Then we have the designing study. Design study means architectural design. So here we will define the architectural design. Then we have the requirement specification. Here we will specify all sort of the requirements after defining the architecture. So we will get the complete system requirements. That will be the complete SRS about the project. Okay, dear student, this is the end of the lectures. We have done two activities here, proposal writing and the project planning. We will complete the next activities in the next lectures. There is my email, which is included in the footer section of the slides, which is m.kadim@kust.edu.pk. If you have any question, you can ask your question through the email here. And also, when the lockdown finishes, then we will meet with each other about the lectures as well. So I hope that you are doing well. Thank you very much.